But all right, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
Do you mind introduce yourself?
I'm Al Harris, minister, um, artist, slash actor. Did some acting and stuff like that too.
Okay.
Galley on the drum.
I'm very excited for this interview, dog.
Yeah, man. Long time coming. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. I want to thank you
Long
for giving
time.
me some of your time, man. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely, man. Shoot, man. I love your heart, man. You know your grind. I'm not too familiar with you.
That's okay.
We didn't really cross paths like that, but when I got acquainted, with you, boy, yeah, I said, yeah, he really do this, man. You could tell, I could see your dedication, and that's what I'm drawn to, man, because I'm so serious about what I do.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I'm so serious about what I do
I see that.
and the message, and that's why I speak something that I'm comfortable with, because I don't want to get off the mic and be like, God, I probably shouldn't have said that, man.
I feel
And it's out.
yeah.
And it's out. It's out now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm big on you just being real. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
No matter how ugly it be, you know what I'm saying? You just gotta keep it real, man.
I
You
gotta
know?
agree with that, man. Okay, so since you say that, I mean, because like even on your album, you talk about the ugly stuff and the sanctified stuff,
Yeah.
and how do you find balance in that?
Um. Yeah. I mean, that's a good question. You know, that's a good question, bro. I ain't gonna lie, because as creatives already, people with creative minds, um, they tend to get stuck, at times. You know what I'm saying? You tend to get in a space to where the good things kind of blow over. You know what I'm saying? No matter how many accomplishments you made, no matter how many achievements, no matter how many accolades that you receive, man, it's just like, you know, it's not enough.
Mhm.
It ain't enough, and um, you can find yourself not seeing yourself like others see you. Others see you like, man, that's just man, that's. But you see yourself as, man. I could do better.
Mhm.
I could be better.
Mhm.
But there is a balance. My wife, my children, that's where I get that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's God. That's God in the flesh when I look at them. Because I prayed for each and every one of them. I prayed for them when I was in that cell.
Mhm.
I prayed for my wife, and I prayed for my daughter.
Mhm.
I prayed for my family, my son. I prayed for a family, because I never experienced that coming up.
Mhm.
From 5 years old, I was shipped here, there, aunts, cousins, grandma, you know what I'm saying? I was never stable
Mhm.
until I got married.
Yeah, he talked about it. You said your father. You said you didn't have a father figure until you met Barron,
Yeah, yeah,
which I didn't know. That's my father-in-law name.
okay, cool. That's what's up. That's what's
Yeah.
up. And not to down my dad. You know
No,
what
no,
I'm
no, no,
saying?
never.
Because daddy was doing facing what he was facing. He was going through what he was going through,
Right.
swinging. Trying to fight what he was. Even with my mom. And not to down, because I'm so proud of him now. I'm proud of him now. I'm proud of my mama now, man. I really am. And my dad, man. It's like, right now I know he's safe.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I know he's okay.
Yeah.
And I'm able to sit down and talk to him. Even though I probably could never rekindle that bond that we didn't have coming up, but
Mhm.
hey, this is good for me. This
Yeah.
is good enough for me. Just to have him here and still be able to talk to him.
Mhm.
So but coming up, bro, yeah, man, like, yeah, I barely saw either of my parents. My mom or my daddy. Until I got up in age and my mama regained custody. Um, but even then, I ain't see my daddy. I ain't see my daddy, and I look so much like him. It's crazy. When people see me, little Al, this little Al, and but I never, never really got to know him. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? I never really got to know him, who he really was, man. Cause I know it was so many layers to him. because I see layers to myself. You know what I mean? And I know who my dad was. He from New York, born and raised in New York City. You know what I'm saying? They moved down to the South. You know, that's when he met my mom and they had me. You know, I got New York run through all through my blood, all through my veins. You know, and him and my grandma. You know, my big mom. Like I never got to know him. You know, I never got to know my dad, man. You know, he was a bad dude. You know, I would hear stories about him. You know, he was a dude you didn't want to mess with. You know what I'm saying? You know, martial arts, bad dude. You know, little short thing too, short thing. But he'll take two or three dudes. I've heard stories from multiple people. You know, 2 or 3 dudes. He take them. You know what I'm saying? And I never got to know him. I never got to know that that part of him. But I believe that there are gifts that wasn't allowed to flourish in my dad that may have been passed to me.
Okay.
I'm not saying I mean, but gifts. You know what I'm saying? Gifts. And it's on me how to mold that gift and how to shape that gift, find what I'm really good at, and you know what I really have a passion for, a heart for, and that's mine. Just like that martial arts says, what I do is mine. This is mine, and I don't want to fumble it. You know, that would be an upset. You know, that would be an upset, especially how far God done brought me. You know, God believes in me.
Yeah, you got some cold blooded stories on your album.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
God believe I can show you bullet wounds. You know what I'm saying? You can look me up, man. You can Google me. You know what I'm saying? See the charges. You know what I mean? My mom, you know, you can Google her. You know, 14 shots and she survived. You know, and me having to watch this from a prison cell.
Yeah,
on the top bunk. Yeah. You know, for a person to and you know what? The thing about trauma, man. The thing about the scars and the hurt that we face. That too is passed through bloodline, through the genes. And I just found that out. Real traumatizing experiences are passed from parents to children. You know, they're born with that somehow.
Yeah.
Like it passes through your DNA or something, man. I just learned this, man. And that's wow, you know, but you know, and that's why it's so important for me to have that, you know, that relationship with Christ. You know, it's important for me to have that relationship with God because, you know, even if all this was a fluke and everything was not true, what does it hurt me? You know, I still lived a peaceful, prosperous life. You know what I mean? Opposed to how bad and ugly it can get. Cause I know.
Yeah.
I know. I was there. I was there, and I know how bad and ugly it can get. So with me, you know, serving God and being a follower of Christ and seeking to do right in everything that I do, not saying I always do, but seeking to get right in everything that I do, man, that just benefits me in every way, you know, all across the board, man. Um, so regardless of what somebody may say, you know, he's not hard, he white, black, I don't care about none of that. I don't care what color he was. I don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? Because I know who he is in my life right now. I can look at my daughters, my son, look at my wife and my home, and I know, you know, I own things now. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with nothing, bro. You know what I'm saying? And God did that. You know, of course it took work on my part, but God did that. He set it up. You know, and I went and I did it. You know, and I went and I tackled it, man. You know, and now I am where I am, and this ain't it though. This ain't it, bro. You know, I got a ways to go.
Yeah, we got plenty of time.
A ways to go.
Yeah. So I got to ask. So you're originally from Greenville?
I'm originally from Greenville. I'm from Nickeltown, Fieldcrest.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's my spot. That's my hood, my stomping ground. Born and raised right there in Fieldcrest, man. That's when it was wow.
Yeah.
I mean, wow.
Well, how old are you?
I just turned 40.
Okay, I'll be 39 on Monday.
Okay.
Oh, that's very cool.
Okay. So you know,
Yeah.
I'm talking about when the brick apartments was up, man, and you know, it was more than one way in and one way out. We had 3 ways. You know, you can go on the Fieldcrest and escape to Nickeltown, and you know what I mean. swimming in a swimming pool was 50 cents, you know what I'm saying, behind Phyllis Sweetly, you
Yeah.
know, with Don, the Black Don, the lifeguard, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about Fieldcrest.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day, bro, you know, where they used to ride through the strip, man, just to show their cars and rims off, man. People would get dressed just to go stand at the strip on Sundays. They come through Fieldcrest, then Nickeltown, then hit Cleveland Park. You know what I'm saying, bro? You know, that was the highlight.
Yeah.
That was the highlight of our Sunday.
It
You know what I
was.
mean? For real, bro.
Yeah.
You know, yo, I'm, you know, from the real hood. You know,
Yeah.
from the real hood. But we ran up on cars, man. We don't know y'all. We all come, you know what I'm saying? You come to Fieldcrest, man, either one or two things gonna happen now. And I ain't gonna speak on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you know, and I was engulfed in it.
Yeah.
You know, that's what raised me. You know, the streets, everybody knew Lil Al, you know. For either good or bad reasons. Pick one. You know what I mean? Pick one, you know what I'm saying? But everybody knew Lil Al, man. You know, so it wasn't all bad, you know. Yeah, it hurt at the time, you know, not having, you know, and always wondering like why? You know, why don't nobody want, you know what I'm saying? Like, and my aunts would come through and I would see my cousins, them, and I would just want to leave with them all the time, you know, because they had the family thing. And I would just want to go with them all the time. Sometimes she would let me come. I even stayed with my Aunt Merlin for a while. She was my mother for a while, you know, and she took care of me, you know. I got my Aunt Jean. My Aunt Jean took care of me, you know. I got aunts that I lived with, you know what I'm saying? Because I was, you know, like I said, I was never stable. You know, they were mothers to me, you know, and they still are. You know, they got my heart, you know. So, you know, even at 30, think about it. Even because when I got out of prison, I was going on 30 years old. So even at 30 years old, I'm still having to learn this thing called stability. I'm still having to learn this thing called family. You know, being bonded and really having loyalty within a circle. I'm having to learn that. You know what I mean? Because I grew up ruthless, chasing, hunting. You know what I'm saying? And I gotta get it. You know what I'm saying? Had a monkey on my back that I had to feed, you know, and I couldn't control it. Because I was just a small little something out there, you know. Started with cocaine, then it went to crack. You know what I mean? So now I'm up 3-4 days, no sleep. And I gotta get it.
Yeah.
Ain't, you know what I'm saying? Yo, however, where the money at? I'm going to get it. You know, and that's how I got charged up. You know, fighting charges after charges, man, and you know, pistol charges, man, and robbery charges and stuff like that. You know, being in the hood, man, and it's a difference with living somewhere and actually being in it. You know what I'm saying? You know, you could live somewhere and not be in it. You know what I'm saying? I was in it, bro. Knee deep, I was in it.
What's that feel like though?
I mean, bro, it was you had to not care. You had to. You had to live with a sense of it's really like Pac, me against the world. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I don't care if y'all take me out, you'll be doing me a favor.
I saw the disc in the car. I
Yeah,
seen it.
yeah. You know, I grew up on him, man. But I gotta be
that's my
careful with
favorite
Pac,
artist,
boy.
yeah.
God, I gotta be careful with Pac, man, because Pac had me wild in high school. Pac had me taking pistols to school, put them in my locker, man. That's what Pac had me doing in high school, man. So, you know, I gotta be careful with Pac. You know what I mean? And music in general, man. And I've learned to be able to appreciate the artistry of it and not give so much into the message. But don't get me wrong, I stand for inspiring our youth, for giving them something to hear, and it makes them want to live, not die. And it makes them want to help others, you know, and not take. You know, it helps them, it makes them want to respect their elders, respect their mother, and see how hard she worked to take care of you. Respect your father. See how hard he got it out here in this world. But he's still here, still beside you, still willing to do whatever he has to do for you. Respect that. You know, I want this next generation to know, you know what I mean, that it's so much better on that side. It's so much better on the respectful side. You know what I'm saying? You know, the love side. We have to love one another.
No, because you talk about in your music, you highlight what people would consider the bad things, but you don't glorify them.
Right.
And then you also reference the changes and the positive things that have influenced you to get to this point now.
Right.
Is that? I'm assuming that's intentional.
Yeah, that's strategic. It's very, very strategic, but it almost comes natural. Like I can't talk about, my screw ups and what caused them, and exactly what I did without telling you about, the other side of it, man.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? How I learned from it, how I grew from it.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And what it caused.
Mhm.
Because it wasn't a bad thing.
Mhm.
When you think about it. You know what I'm saying? If you just tell the beginning, the first part of the story, you'll think, man, that's horrible. But
Yeah.
nah, let me finish.
Yeah.
I mean, all through scripture, all through the gospels, from Jesus to Joseph to David to Samson to, Peter
Yeah.
to, they beginning started rocky, man.
Yeah.
It was kind of rough,
Wasn't that
all of
something
them,
supposed
man.
to say?
Even with our Savior Jesus,
Mhm.
he had to die, man. He had to literally strip himself of his divinity. He had to become a mere human, man, and take on the stripes and the scars that all of us we deserve that. We deserve that, bro. I deserve that. I know I did. You know what I mean? Because I know what it felt like out there when I didn't care about nothing. So yeah, I got to cross the bear. Yeah, I gave him stripes too. But he did that. He gave it up. He gave himself, for us. He showed us exactly what love looked like. He showed us what love looked like, man. And I believe, I know. I don't just believe, I know, man. And I know he has a plan, man. And it's not over. It's not over by a long shot, man. And I'm just walking in it. I'm walking in it, man. Strengthening myself, reading, studying, man, continuing to draw closer to him. And yeah, I got roadblocks sometimes, man, but I don't never let that stop me, bro, because I've been through way worse.
Yeah.
So really ain't nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I believe God when he said, this enemy you shall see no more. You shall see no more.
So when did you find Christ? Was that when you were locked up or after? Or?
Yeah, when I was locked up. But see, I was being prepped coming up because my big mom would send me to church. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? With neighbors, with, the church van that came by, just picking people up in the neighborhood in Nickeltown. She would tell me, hey, get dressed. Go on.
Planting seeds
Yeah,
even
plant
before.
seeds,
Yeah.
plant seeds. So I would go, I sit beside anybody there, bro, coming up, man, I just had to do some things for myself. I had to do things on my own. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, she was planting those seeds. So, I lost my way. I definitely lost my way. Not to say that I had it, that I found it in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Because I was always wow. I was always misunderstood. I was always, it was something that I was dealing with that people didn't know. I didn't know what it was, but you know, I know what it was now. What I was dealing with. The rejection, abandonment, not just, you know, but yeah, I got locked up, and that's when it was a February, 2008.
Mm.
2008, bro. I was in Columbia on Kirkland Yard, and a guy came, and he had a guitar, and he sung the simple song, Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So, I went out. I came out the cell that day, man, and went to the Rock and listened to him, and I just got to thinking, because I had been praying already, because I didn't know what to expect. I just got 15 years.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm 20, fresh 22 years old.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And I just got 15 years. So my mind everywhere, bro. My mind everywhere. I done been to the county, but I ain't never got hit like this.
You're right.
This,
Not
this was my
15. Yeah.
first. This was my first time getting hit like this. So at this point, I'm like, man, I can't do this on my own. I can't do this by myself. But I will always remember. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
God is able. You know, he may not come when you want him, but he'll be. You know those sayings that the old folk might throw on you. You know what I'm saying? He won't put too much on you. You can't bet. You know what I'm saying? It was just these things just coming back to my remembrance, man. And I'm like, man, okay. If God is real, I need him. I need him now. I need him now, you know, because I knew that wasn't the life that he had for me. I knew that there was something greater inside of me. I knew this. But being addicted, I couldn't give it any attention. You know what I'm saying? Even if you knew it, man, I ain't got time for that. You know, I'm trying to get high. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get high. And that's just the addict for you. You know what I mean? People misunderstand. You know what I'm saying? Yo, they look at them as horrible people, man, and they just want to get high, and they'll do anything just to get high, and they disgust people. You know what I'm saying? But they were somebody before that.
Yeah.
But before that, before they were introduced to whatever, they were somebody, man. You know what I'm saying? And they might have been the best somebody you ever know. And you're like, you know what I'm saying? That's why it's not, you know, it's not right. I was there, and I know how it felt. So I got a heart for them. I got a heart for addicts. I got a heart for you know, even these teens, you know, these youth coming up, man, angry. Just wake up angry. You mad. You know, you confused.
They mad before breakfast. I mean,
Before,
how you mad before
how you
you
mad?
eat?
Yeah, bro. What you dream about, bro? You know what I mean? Like you see, you
Get
know,
some hash browns first.
yeah, man. Don't just wake up mad, man. You know what I mean? You can't just wake up mad like that. But you know, so I have a heart for them. I gotta because I know how it is. I know how it is to be overwhelmed, to be burdened, to be captivated, and to be paralyzed by what you grew up in. You know what I'm saying? By what you were introduced to, by what you were forced to live by. That's all you knew.
Yeah.
And as you get older, you pay for it.
Yeah.
You know. But I never had somebody to pull me and be like, man, let me get you up out of this. You know, I'm finna get you up out. I'm gonna show you something else. You know, even school systems, man, they, you know, that's another subject. But you know, you gotta have somebody that really that know how it feel, man, and who's able to talk to them like, yo, that ain't the route you want to take. I'm telling you, that ain't the route you want to take. I got scars I can show you. You know, you don't want to get hit with that fire because it hurt.
Yeah, they said burn now.
Yeah, it burn. And you don't want to get hit with that. You don't want to get hit with that time, that jail time either.
No.
You know, they'll hide you. They got a place for you, and they won't care nothing about you. You can scream and holler all you want. You know, I done seen them scream they heart out, man. Ain't nobody saving you, man. Ain't nobody saving you.
So I found you got a powerful message, though. I'm gonna just say that up front. So I found out who you were. So I did Coop's first interview. He just did a second one, but I did his first interview earlier this year. He let me hear the intro to Back Boy, That's It Right There Too.
Right.
I'm listening to it, and I had heard of Chemo.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to his music, but I had at least heard of him because I knew he had an album that was like real. The cover was real colorful and like really artistic. It was like pink with flowers and stuff on it. It was cool looking. Then this voice came on, and Coop was like, "Keep going," and you kept going. I was like, "Who is this? I want to know who this is."
Yeah.
And then he said, "This dude, they Al Harris." I said, "Who?" Al Harris. I said, "Okay." And then you dropped your album, No Weapon Form. And I've been listening to that. And so when I go to the gym, I start from Champion and then I let it play. Because that Champion gets me motivated because I usually start with the steps. And then I go, you know, if I'm doing back, biceps, whatever it is. And then, well, all the songs stick out to me, but 50 Ramsey Court, that's where you grew up? That's in Nickeltown?
That's Fieldcrest.
Okay.
That's Fieldcrest. That's just the name of the road. That's the name of the street. Well, one of the streets that's in Fieldcrest. Matter of fact, that's the main entrance right there, 50 Ramsey Court.
Okay, so how did you start putting that album together?
Man, to tell you the truth, man, because I believe my last album was what Fit for a King. Well, no, it was On Assignment. I did an EP called On Assignment, but I hadn't dropped in so long. But within that time,
wait. So did you rap before you got locked up? Also?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I got but I wasn't taking it serious then.
Okay, gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? I was just writing and rapping. You know, after I came back from New York, after I got back from New York, like 13 years old, man, that's when I started writing. That's when I started writing. But I didn't go into a studio or nothing like that. I was just enjoying writing. You know, I got addicted, and I used to rap to get high. You know what I'm saying? You know, they'll tell me, you know what I'm saying, kick something, we got something for you.
Okay.
I bet. You know what I mean? And I spit. And I spit. And I spit. You know what I mean? And you know, and I mean that's the hood for you though. You know what I mean? And you know, even the guys that probably, you know, probably did that. I see them now, you know what I mean, and they give me the utmost respect. You know, they proud of me. You know what I mean, because they remember. You know, and it's imperative to have people like that was in there with you in it, and they may have been a culprit to your addiction. But it's good to see people like that now. You know, and them to see you, because then they say, "Boy, that wasn't nothing but God."
And see, you made it out,
Because that boy, oh my goodness, that boy. And it was real. That's what it was with me. You know, I had boy telling me, listen, man, you gotta lead the hood, man. You making the block hot. You making the block hot. You know, I was on the news. I had the police out there. I had the police in Fieldcrest, swarming Fieldcrest. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Boy, you making the block hot, man. You gotta go. I ain't going nowhere. This is my hood. I ain't going nowhere. You know, they ain't gonna find me. You know, only way they gonna find me if I turn myself in, which I did. I did that a couple times. But anyway, you know, it was just bad. You know, it was just bad. So the what I operate in now, man, is it's like something that I hold sacred. I hold it sacred, and I'm serious about it. You know, I've been doing it for a while, but you know, I hold it sacred, man.
But how'd you go about approaching this album? Like, what was the?
Well, okay, yeah. So, yeah, back to the question, bro.
My bad.
Back to the question. My bad. No, that was my fault. So yeah, during the period of time, like I say, a year and a half, 2 years, man, I've been writing. I've been writing the whole time. Got with my producer, JRB. Shout out JRB.
He's super fire.
Man, what?
Super
Man,
fire.
what? Any exclusive? He like, yo, he don't work with everybody, man. Like,
yeah, you and him and Rick the ruler,
Yeah,
y'all just got a really good vibe.
Right. Yeah, Rick, my dude too. Shout out Rick. But and I've been rocking with JR since I came home.
Yeah.
You know, since I first came home when he was on in Berea, you know what I mean? Before, and this years ago, 10 plus years. So JR had been making beats. You know, he done got back on it. Yeah. So he would send me beats like, and I was like, man, how cool would it be, man, to, you know, have a full album with original, you know what I'm saying, original beats that I could say they mine, you know, like, whole album original, you know what I'm saying. Now, I kind of attained that, but there are a few, maybe 3 or 4 beats that's on the album that I paid for lease. You know what I'm saying? But I still got the paperwork to them. You know what I mean? So you know, it still came out. It still came out good, man. I had many of album covers. I still got them that I had to choose from, man. And I'm like, yo, and the one that I chose, man, it was just a peaceful cover. You know, it was just a peaceful, you know, piece, man. And when you looked at it, man, it was just divine. I just thought it was divine, man. So I you know, I said, yeah, that's the one. I say, yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Hero, my man Hero, he made that album cover, man. Shout out Hero.
Okay.
But yeah, and I had many songs to choose from. I got songs that I ain't even put on there. You know what I mean?
For real?
Yeah, man. I got songs that I ain't even man, a year and a half, 2 years, bro. Shoot.
Oh, so man, you just recording.
Man, listen. When it got like to the phase where I said, okay, I'm finna drop.
Yeah.
Because at a point, man, the game in the rap game, it didn't make sense to drop an album at one point.
Yeah, it was.
You know what I mean?
Doing just singles.
Yeah,
Which I don't really
and they chop it up. They chop it up about 20 times to make all content and throw them on. So and that's what they. I mean, that's what they do. That's the move now. You know what I'm saying?
Listen to whole. I'm not everybody.
And you got some people that really appreciate the sport of it.
We around the same age, so I like the whole body of work. I don't really want just a single. Because if it's fire, I need to have some more songs to go
with it.
It's
therapy, bro. I need a session. I need a session. I don't need to just hey and bye. I don't need you to do me like that. You know, or give me a word of affirmation and go on about your way. No, I need a session. You know what I mean?
So that's my frustration with music today.
And I get it. And I get it, man. But you know, that's the culture now. You know, and they're content driven. Culture right at this moment, man.
Absolutely.
But I said, you know what, man? And then my wife, man, she played a huge part, man.
As far as putting it together and picking what songs go where?
That too. But just getting it out. Getting it out, man. Because I linked with some guys in Charlotte and did a collaboration album called Vietnam. Yeah. And we put that out. You know, it's up for grabs. It's out. But before we did that, I was working on my album.
Yeah.
So my wife was like, "Well, babe, how you gonna?" I said, "Babe, I'm just gonna take a little, break, get the writing to this right here, and put it out real quick. You know, it ain't like I'm writing full songs. I'm just writing verses because it's me and two other guys. So." I said, I'm just going to, put this out, and then this will make leeway for the album. That's what I was thinking, you know what I'm saying? This right here will make leeway for the album because I have content that I could, or songs that I could share with the followers and stuff like that. And so I put it on the back burner. But after that, man, I said I'm finna put it out. I'm finna put the whole album out. 18 tracks, bro. 18 tracks. Only one song got a feature, you know, and those my brothers, you know, those my bros, man. Reggie Rock and Siege, man. Shout out Reggie Rock and Siege. The song Defense, those are the only two rappers I got on it.
What made you do that though? Because a lot of people today's time, like you say, now it's collab.
Yeah.
And it's I've noticed a few people in the indie market that they don't have a whole, but Rick don't have a whole bunch of features on his music. There's a couple other people, but. Is that intentional as well? Like,
yeah. Okay. I mean, that's a true MC.
But is that based on being worried about what this person's messaging might be, or just
because
I'm nice, so I don't need to have a million people on?
No, neither. You know what I'm saying?
You can be humble and still be nice.
You can. You definitely can. You definitely can. But neither, because I established. You know, they know what I'm about. They know what Al Harris about. So I established that before we even go in on it. Like, yo, so you know, this is the message that I give. This is what I stand for. You know what I mean? Yeah. And if you don't, that's cool. Yeah. You know, cool. We ain't gotta do it. It's cool. But you know, this is what I stand for. And but I think the main reason that I wanted to do this right here with just me was because it took so long. It took so long for me to put this body of work out, No Weapon Form. And I shouldn't have made them wait because I had it ready.
How long did you have ready before?
I had it ready, bro. I had it recorded. I recorded it twice. I mean, you know, got it mixed and mastered, got it touched up, got it. You know what I'm saying? Because I just wanted it to be right.
Right.
I just wanted it to be right.
Just sound like just from the 90s. You want it to be clear.
Exactly. Clean, and it's important for it to be current and relevant. Relevant. You know what I mean? It has to be current. You know, because they'll hear it. Yeah. They'll say, "Oh, that's dated." You know what I mean? That's dated, man. So you know, it's very important, I believe, to be hip to, you know, I mean, culture, but not to a point to where it's a detriment to who you are and what you speak. But still,
but you don't want to sound dated.
Still, yeah, bro. But still, you gotta have that edge. And if you from where I'm from, you gonna have it regardless. Yeah. You know, that's natural. Yeah. You know, that's natural.
Did you have not issues, but did you ever deal with that when you first came home, feeling like institutionalized and feeling like dated with music? Not your life, because that ain't none of my business, but just as far as like music and stuff?
I had to catch up, bro. Yeah. I had to catch up, but as far as music, because I had the iPod back then. Yeah. I had the iPod in prison.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Hearing good music.
So
okay.
yeah, bro. And I had ways of getting songs downloaded on it. You know what I'm saying, and passed back to me. You know what I'm saying? So
hey, that new Jay-Z. I need that.
So I was really on stuff that a lot of people in prison wasn't.
Yeah.
You know, so I kind of had the the flow of the game when I got out. I knew, you know, the swag, the flavor, what it was kicking right then at that point. You know, this was 2012.
Okay.
You know, so I knew what they was coming out with. But the most important thing is I still had to adjust to society. Forget like? Knowing, you know, forget that, you know, I get there when I get there, but I gotta adjust to this because it's a jungle out there to me.
Yeah.
It's a jungle out there, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not used to so many people.
Right.
You know, I went to the mall, man, and I kind of, boy, what? I had my back on the wall, boy. They were like, baby, you gotta, come on. I mean, I'm just chilling, posted up, you know, not doing it on purpose, but just, it was just too much going on for me.
The longest I ever did in jail is like a weekend.
Yeah.
But when I came back from Iraq, I was in the Navy. And so when I came back, like my boys, they're like, yo, we going to the club, nigga. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get on these hoes. I'm like, all right. And I get in there. I'm the same. Not like, again, I know it's not the same, but I went in the club and I'm like, nah, I ain't trying to be in here. I'm ready to go.
It's too much going.
It's weird. It's too much going on.
Bro, yeah, and that's exactly how I felt, man. And my big cuz, man, he did Fed time, so he understood. He was with me.
Yeah. Okay, so
he was with me at the mall. Yeah, matter of fact, him and my other cousin, they the ones who took me to the mall that day, and he knew. He laughed. You know what I'm saying? He said, "It's all right, cuz. It's all right. Come on." Yeah. You know what I mean? And then I just walked beside him. You know what I'm saying? But and he knew. You know, he big dude. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Just adjusting. Just like I said, man, I was never stable. I never had nothing I can call my own. You know what I mean? I always stayed with people, man. I was bounced from here to there. So, you know, I had to adjust to, you know, the family I've been praying for. You know what I mean? You know, everything was new. I mean, I literally had to learn how to live all over again, bro.
So I'm assuming you found your stability in your wife because you also have a song dedicated to her.
Yeah.
Which is fire as well.
Thank you.
But how did y'all meet?
Man, it's crazy, right?
And while you answer that, I'm gonna grab me another beer that sounds simple, but forgive me.
No, you're okay.
Yes, sir.
You're okay, bro.
I will fix that. I'll be right back.
All right. I'm gonna just wait.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely want to hear it. Oh. Don't worry, I'll take that part out. Oh, I knocked the whole camera over.
No, you're okay. Oh, I know you gonna do your thing.
Answer you, sir. Yes, sir. But let me see. Bam. So you found your stability in your wife. How did y'all meet?
So yeah, my cousin Nikki, she her and my wife, they're good friends. So when I came home, I guess, you know, Nikki told my wife, you know, my cousin coming home or whatnot. So when I went to the mall that day, Kaya, my wife was with them, you know, and mind you, I just came home, man. You know, really, I wasn't even thinking about a female, man. A female wasn't really on my mind, man. If that happened, it happened, man. But I was just, like I said, trying to get adjusted to life. I had to get some money, man. I had to, you know, really find somewhere to stay. Where I was staying wasn't really a definite, you know, at the time. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I wasn't really thinking about that. But we kicked it for a minute, you know, exchanged numbers and stuff like that, man. Kicked it for a minute, but then we kind of, you know, went our separate ways. And she always say because I didn't want her and stuff, something like that, or, you know, but that ain't what it was, man. I believe, you know, life just got
you're trying to get settled.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to have something to offer,
Exactly, bro. You know, because I know what I wanted. You know, I know what I was searching for. I just didn't think that was it because my wife at the time, she was in a motorcycle club. She drove a bike.
Cool, yeah.
She was a bartender. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, God, you know, and I'm just coming home, you know, from prison. I'm a minister. You know what I mean? So I'm like, God, this can't, this just can't be her. You know, this can't be the one you got for me. But You know, God taught me something that day. You know, he really did. He taught me something that day. He taught me that he's within the bad just as well as he's within the good. I mean, and what we perceive to be, you know, something that God wouldn't approve of, or God would shun off, or God would those are the very things that God uses. You know what I'm saying? To create something so beautiful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I had to learn that. You know, like you can't judge a book by its cover type thing,
Yeah.
but deeper than that. You know, it's deeper than that, man. You know, because God makes it. He just makes it some. I wouldn't in a million years thought that you know, she would be my wife. You know, so we separated for a minute, man, and I called my cousin. I said, "Cuz, I need her number."
Hey,
You know what I'm saying? Because I just got to thinking about it, man.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I was riding with Tim Porter at the time.
Okay.
I was living with Tim and Abby.
Okay.
Because that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story. Basically, when I came home, man, I had to have an address to come home to.
Right,
And well, I could have used my mom's address, but Miss Abby, she looked at me and she said, "No, God said you're supposed to come live with us." Now, Tim and Abby, they were like prison volunteers. They would come through and minister with the inmates and stuff like that from the streets.
So some more divine intervention.
Man, listen, this was all God. This was all God. So they, you know, when they came in, they just took a liking to me, and they would always come sit beside me. We would always fellowship, you know, together while we had that time, and then they would leave, and I would go back into the cell or whatever. And then they would probably come back next week. But anyway, we developed the bond. And matter of fact, Miss Abby, she came to my parole hearing when I had parole, and then she looked at me and she said, "Where you going?" And I said, "Well, I could, you know, go with my mom." She was like, "No, God said you're supposed to come live with us." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now, mind you, they lived in Dacresville, like Pickens
okay.
Easley. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay, God, I know what you said.
And at the time, you know, I was just like, boy, you know,
Country.
what? And they had acres upon acres. You could see, you know, like real far, that big house. And I'm like, man, I don't know, man. Man, she looked at me with tears in her eyes and said, "Al, you supposed to come live with us." You know. So I wouldn't, you know, and I stayed with them for a year. You know, and that's when I met my wife after that year. Anyway, fast forward.
We got all the time in the world. Ain't no rush.
So I was riding with Tim. And riding down Augusta Street. It was a Dollar General. No, a Dollar Tree. And I seen her. She got out of her Jeep and she was walking inside the store.
Hey, but there you.
Yeah, boy, listen, I seen her, and something just hit me like, yeah, like you know, she's a woman, like he's a woman. You know what I mean? Yeah, she's a woman, man. You know what I mean? So I called her, man. I got a number from my cousin, and I called her, man, and we got together, acquainted and stuff like that. And she hit me one time. She was like, "Yo," sent me pictures of her getting baptized.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and she told me she sold a motorcycle and she quit bartending. You know, and everything. I didn't ask her to do it. You know what I mean? It was just something that occurred. You know what I mean? I believe that was God just setting things up.
Yeah.
You know, setting things up, man. And he used unfortunate circumstances sometimes to set things up. You know, it's not as bad as it seemed, man, because as long as you live to have another day, you live to see what God was up to the whole time. Because he's up to something. You know, he has a plan. He's up to something. I'm living proof, you know, that even though it may look bad, you know, it may perceive to be something horrific. God is saying, nah, not for you. Not for you. I'm developing a callus. I'm developing a callus. Because at the level where I'm taking you, you're gonna need that extra protection. You're gonna need that callus. You're gonna. So I'm developing that right now with the trouble that I'm allowing you to go through. Because I can't take you to this level without that extra callus that this trouble is gonna bring. You know, so it's actually a blessing. You know, if we can withstand. You know, if we can withstand. You know, I do believe. You know, and that's just one of those things that I had to. You know, I had to realize, man, that just because it hurt, that doesn't mean it's over. You know, or that doesn't mean this is my final destination. You know, just because it hurt.
Was it rough though? Because I mean, I know that people will have that thing where, oh, he just believe. I clearly you radiate God, but I'm saying, you know, some people will be like, oh, he only did that because he was locked up, or he just wanted to get out of a bad place. How do you circumvent that doubt when people? I don't know how often that comes, or if it comes at all. But when people, I'm sure it doesn't happen now. But in the beginning, when you first made that transition, like, what is that? How do you fend against that? People being like, "Oh, he ain't for real."
Well,
because it's radiating from you, so I know it's real. But I'm saying in the beginning, when you first came home.
Well, when I first came home, I would just simply tell them, time will tell.
Yeah.
Time tells all. I mean, I wouldn't argue with them, or you know what I'm saying. I wouldn't, I would let them, because eventually, one thing about time gonna tell.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
10 plus years.
if somebody's for real, if somebody desperately needs it to survive, and I desperately need this relationship with God to survive. You know, because if I don't, it can get ugly. It can get ugly fast, bro, fast. You know, and I know how horrible I can get. So, I understand. You know, but I'm sorry, because
no, you good.
But I understand, because some people use that as a cop out, especially in the penitentiary.
Right.
You know, they click up. You know, they might get with the Vice Lord, GDs, Blood, Crip. They might get with the Muslims,
like my cousin.
Yeah, they might get with the Muslims.
He says people that join
for sure. For sure, it's some people that do. But if that's the case, being exposed is inevitable.
Yeah, it's coming.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's coming.
Being exposed is inevitable. Now, if you're in it because you sincerely want to see what's on the other side, if I was just to do right. If you sincerely, you're serious because you know that God has something greater for you. In the life that you were living, you were just contributing to your pain. You were just contributing to your downfall, to your destruction. You know, when you think of it like that, and you just get a change of heart, not just mind, but you get a change of heart.
Because there's something different about you, especially like as I refer back to your music, because I just met you today, so I don't know you personally. But even music, like growing up, my dad was super religious, and he used to buy us Christian rap. And it would be like DC Talk, and at the time it was Christian rap, but it wasn't fire. You know what I mean? It was just had a good message.
Right. I still hear some of that today, like the commercial type stuff, man.
Yeah, whereas yours has a good message and it's fire. Like, is that a struggle to be like, to kind of make sure not to veer into the secular lane? Not saying you got to be cursing and stuff, but just, I don't know. It's because your music is so much different. It's like, not to compare you to Lecrae, but his music is fire. It's Christian rap. Whereas a lot of the mainstream Christian rap is kind of,
yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know if I even really asked the real question. But
no, I know exactly what you're saying though. But the thing, what I believe about myself, because I've wondered that myself. You know what I'm saying? But what I think what's different with me is that my struggle was so extreme.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's so authentic.
It was so well, listen, and that's anybody. If somebody was to go through the similar things that I've been through, but develop the relationship with Christ, a true relationship with Christ, I believe that without even trying, and they were a true lyricist, without even trying, their lyrics will come out like that. You know what I mean?
How we find some more Christian rappers that are lyrical?
I mean, shoot, bro. These days they coming out, man. I be seeing them. It's a lot of them. God is he's raising up a people, man. He's raising up a people that's gonna stand strong. A people who's gonna relate to those who are from the bottom. You know what I mean? The last shall be first, and the first shall be last. That verse is in the Bible for a reason, man. You know, because everybody who's down and out right now, poverty, everybody who who's the least of the least, these are the people who are gonna be brought up. You know, they're gonna be brought up, man, and they're gonna be what comes out of their mouth is gonna be so powerful, man. And it's gonna change a generation, because experience has a way of grabbing the hearts of their listeners. Experience, when you could truly tell somebody, man, this is what it felt like. This is what it felt like, and I could still I could still see it now. I could relive it. It's so vivid, because it happened, but at the end of the day, man, it has to be one of those things that's just in you, man. It has to be in you. You can't try to make yourself rap street and rap spiritual too. you know, and marry the two and make it just authentic message. Yeah. I don't think you can conjure up enough creativity to do that. Anybody. Yeah. Because it's a heart thing. And in order for it to come from the heart, you have to have lived it. Yeah. You have to have lived it. And you have to be experiencing this now. You know what I mean?
You got to have the change.
Yeah. So you marry the two. Yeah. Because I'll never forget that. Right. But this feels so good.
Yeah, because that is what got you to this.
Exactly. So I married the two. Okay. You know, I don't forget where I came from. Not at all, man. And the fact that there are so many others right now who may be experiencing something similar, if not the same, than what I've been through. That's what makes me get on tracks and say, yeah, 3-4 days, no sleep, you know, or I was at a level 3 by 24, strict like Singapore, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you know, it's that's what make me get on tracks and keep it real, man. You know,
is that your mom's real voice?
My mama
on the
yeah.
That's really her voice. Oh, okay. I didn't know. Some people just
that's how she talk.
Okay. No, that was cool. I was like, damn, she talk. Yeah. Curse, but
yeah.
Oh wow.
That's my Dukes, man. Okay. Mom Dukes will get on the basketball court and shake you up, man, and shoot a J and all, bro. Yeah, man, with 14 bullet shots. You know what I'm saying? 14 bullet hole, man.
Do you mind if I ask why she got shot?
Well, it was she was in an active addiction. You know, we all who was it? You know,
you talked about you was in the cell and like you said the sergeant, I don't know what they called him.
Lieutenant.
There you go.
The lieutenant called me on the intercom and told me 2 officers would be coming to get me and bring me to our office. I didn't know what for, but I had seen a familiar face, man. Right. You know how you see something, you be like,
oh man, but yeah, like? Keep on moving.
What it look like? Yeah, but you know, and then come to find out it was my mama, man. That was my mama, but
she pulled a 50 Cent, didn't she?
Boy, what? I mean, that's how you know it's God. It was nothing but God. You know,
cats get shot one time and die.
And they die, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. She got shot 14 times, bro. Oof. And the thing is, man, like I said, the active addiction. She met with a guy, and they was in the Fieldcrest. They was in Fieldcrest at the time, and both of them get high. They smoke crack. My mama, she had some money at the time, and she had a car at the time. No, he had the car, but he was drunk.
We tried to rob her?
No, he was drunk. And so my mama got with him, and she was like, hey, you might well just let me drive.
Oh, okay.
Let me drive. Let me drive you. Because both of them got high, so you know what I'm saying? I guess they were going to go off and, you know, and get high, do what they do or whatever. So she got in the car, and she drove. But supposedly, my mom had information about a safe that this white guy that she used to deal with or whatever had with a lot of money. And so he asked my mom about it, and my mom was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. You know, and then he asked my mama for the combination, and she denied knowing the combination to the safe.
Oh, she really did know it?
I don't know if she knew it or not. Okay, you know, I don't know if she knew it or not. I don't know if the white man was. I don't know if they was out their mind just because they was high. Yeah. You know, if he wanted a reason to shoot her.
My bad. I just had heard.
No. It's cool. It's cool. You know, but you know, put my mom in the trunk. He put my mom in the trunk, man. Drove.
After he shot her?
No. He hadn't shot her yet. He put my mom in the trunk, and this is after he tortured her at this house that they pulled up at.
Dang.
He tortured her, stripped my mom all her clothes, put in the closet, man. And this is the part of the testimony that they ain't said because it's so long. But before he shot her, you know. But before he shot her, man, locked her in the closet, beat her, locked in the closet, and had a woman come in there and threaten my mama, you know what I'm saying? Threaten to kill her or whatnot if she didn't give up the combination. And my mama still, I don't know it. That's when they put my mama in the trunk. Drove to Lawrence County on the highway, threw her on the side of the highway, and they shot my mama 14 times. Shot my mama 14 times, man. Poured bleach in her wounds after they shot her. You know, thinking that erase any evidence or something like that. But the doctors made a statement that bleach helped. It really helped.
Like,
Killed the gunpowder from entering into our bloodstreams, and it saved her life.
whew.
Yeah.
What happened to them people?
I mean,
They still with us, or they in jail, or?
well, yeah, they in jail, but not for what he did to my mom. And the woman, there's no record of her even being caught. The woman that was with him, but he's locked up. He's locked up, and that was only after he got out the county from what he did to my mom. He did like 5 years in the county.
That's it?
Or something like that, because they persuaded my mama not to show up at court when he went to court for my mom. And the fact that the victim didn't show up, that made it look kind of like less credible.
But it's record of her being being shot.
But my mama was traumatized. She didn't want to go. She was scared to go.
Because you got to rehash all
that.
Yeah, man,
listen. My mama didn't want to go. She was still trying to recover. At the time, she was hurting and everything. Yeah. So she didn't want to go. And they gave him time served, and I think gave him a couple years behind, down the road. But they added that county time, so it ended up he ended up doing probably around less than 10 years, man.
I know county is if you do county time before trial, whatever that time is, like county double or something like that, right?
They added to it, yeah. They added to it, yeah. It was said it was double. It was double time because I did 8 months in the county, and
I think that if you do that time before you go to trial or get convicted, it's like something like that.
Yeah, I know they added to you. They added to you.
Yeah, cause my cousin doing Fed time, he getting out, but initially he had like 63 years. But he never actually got. Did he get convicted? Let me not lie. I'm not sure if he got convicted, but something to the effect of he spent all this time like just waiting in Fed time. It's supposed to be kind of like something like double or something like that. I don't know exactly, but.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Yeah. I've heard that. I've heard that it's they attributed double from county time.
So when you say before, when you found that like saw that on the news and they pulled you in the office?
I was in the process of learning who he was because I was in the county. It was the beginning. I hadn't even been at this point. I probably hadn't even been sentenced.
Did this discourage you at all?
Man, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I tore up the office. Yeah. They had to take me out of population and put me in medical housing. Yeah, they took me out of population with everybody and put me in medical housing where people, are monitored and take medicine and stuff like that, bro. And mysteriously somebody bonded me out. And it wasn't just somebody, it was my ex-girlfriend's grandmother. Because I guess she heard about my mom being shot.
And she know you need to come home.
So she bonded me out.
So that's another sign of God.
Yeah, and that's another sign of God. And when I got out, I moved in with her.
Yeah.
I moved in with her. She let me stay there for a while. Got a job at Publix and everything, man. My life was always a roller coaster. Like I said, I was never stable. I was always living with somebody, so my life was like a roller coaster, man. Got with Miss Mills. She let me stay there for a minute, man. I got a job at Publix, man. And this is after my mama got shot. I got a job at Publix, feeling myself, man. I'm feeling good. I'm getting money in my pocket, man. But you got to think about it. I was just the addict, locked in the county, and it's like when the word says that a dog will return to his vomit. You know what I'm saying? I went straight back to the streets. My tolerance was so high for it. It didn't even take my mama getting shot 14 times. That wasn't enough. You know what I mean? Me being beat. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been beat. Dope boys might run up on me, from breaking in their house the other night, when they was at the club, they want their get back. Yeah. Or, or altercations we might have had, man, with people, shootouts we might have had, and they run up on me. I'm probably 90 pounds soaking wet. At 21 years old, I'm out here smoking, getting high. I don't weigh nothing, ain't on no shape to fight if I ain't got no pistol. You know what I'm saying? And I done been ran up on, bro, and I done been beat. I done took beatings, I done gave them. But at the same time, my relationship with God, it took time. It took time. I was in the county, and God just has a way of putting people in your area. You know what I mean? That don't even know you. They don't even know you, but they may see something in you,
Yeah.
and they may want to water seeds that has already been planted in you. And that's what God was doing, man. You know, people around me, man, they Bible studies would be going on in the county and stuff like that, and that was weird. You know, in the county, as far as a group of men getting together in a like a block.
Oh,
You know what I'm
gotcha.
saying?
Yeah.
In a block, R block, S block. Because I was in the old jail, UNV, S&T. I was in the old jail. So it was weird for men to congregate with a Bible study. But here it was, man, a Bible study right here in my block. You know what I mean? You know, you usually have boy playing spades, man, watching the game.
Yeah.
You working out, walking back and forth from the wall to wall. You know what I'm saying? But a study, you know.
Is that what pulled you in? Like,
Yeah, and I took advantage of it.
Yeah.
I took advantage of it,
Yeah.
man. And not to mention, like I said earlier, when I went to Columbia, and I heard the song, man, and I felt God just tugging on me, man, and it let me know that you're gonna be all right. Put me in a cell in Columbia with two Christian young boys, a black and white young boys. They would wake up in the morning, pray together, man, and they would read scripture and everything. And I was in that cell. That was God.
And that ain't coincidence.
He was prepping me. He was prepping me the whole time for me to learn knowledge. I had to learn the knowledge of His Word first. I had to learn the truth of His Word first, though, before I could be, activated in being a spokesman or starting to pin it. You know what I mean? I had to learn the truth of it. I had to get a grasp of it. You know, I'm still not fully. Nobody is, man. But I learn more and more. The more I study. I learn more and more, the more I read, the more I just get it here, and get it here. Your life could be a Bible. My life, man. I could have a book in the Bible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything that done happened and my encounters with God, my encounters with Christ Jesus.
So what's it feel like now to be able to live and move and not look over your shoulder and not be worried about somebody coming to get their get back? Does that feel like a weight is off your shoulders?
I mean, yeah, I know what peace means.
Yeah.
I know what peace really means. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Every time I pull up into my driveway, man, just to look at my home and say, yeah, this
it's all right here.
Yeah, man. Like, yo, and I got peace, man. I got a peace of mind, man, and I got purpose. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna do what God set out for me to do. That ain't gonna stop, man. That ain't gonna stop. I done came too far. I done came too far to quit now.
That's all right, man.
Yeah, man.
I like this, man. This
God,
is cool.
Man, God been good to me.
You got a good testimony. And
I
you got great
it.
music
to
go with the testimony.
Yeah.
Because like I said, cats be, I Christian rap, you like, hey, music ain't that good though. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like,
I can't argue. I can't argue with them.
Yeah.
I can't argue with them, bro. When you think about Christian rap, that's why people put me in that box, and that's cool.
So what would you label yourself if you had to?
I'm just the artist, man.
With a spiritual message.
Yeah, man. It's just a message. I just happen to be, a man of God who raps. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a rap artist. I'm a hip hop artist. I'm an artist.
So what do you got next coming? Because you said it took about 2-3 years to do this one.
It ain't gonna take me that long now.
So are you actively recording?
Yeah, absolutely.
Give or take, how many new songs have you recorded since this came out?
Probably about 5, 6.
Okay. You still got some of the old ones that you didn't use?
Yeah.
We got to talk after this. I'm dropping a mixtape on Monday. I'll tell you about it when we get done. But I'm serious. I'm dropping for my birthday. But
that's dope.
What do you already have a name for the project that will be coming next, or you just the very beginning stage?
I'm not even sure if it's gonna be a full project. You know what I mean? It may just be, a single.
Okay.
It may be an EP. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I know I have, I have it. I have it ready. You know what I mean? I could just pull it out, man. But it just has to be formulated. Everything has to be put in place. And from who I'm working with to the marketing with it and everything, man. I want to do it differently this time, man.
Yeah.
I want to set up to where people could buy my music from my website. You know
what
I'm saying? And not have to go through a middleman.
I got an
DistroKid
idea kind of
24.
like that for this platform, but I'll tell you about it when you do.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. That's what I'm looking. Yeah, I got a guy working on it, man. I got a guy, real good guy close to me, man. Chuck out of Atlanta.
Okay.
He been with me. He been with me for a while now, man. And salute Chuck, man. Charles Robinson, good dude. But yeah, man, I wanna be able to collect the royalties from my website.
Yeah.
You know what I
You
mean?
want to get paid for your
Yeah,
art. Yeah,
and
ain't nothing
people
wrong with that.
and I'm sure even your supporters, man, they want to make sure that you're getting that it's going to you. You know what I'm
I'm gonna
saying?
try.
Yeah, definitely. Your
Yeah.
supporters, man, they want to make sure because it does them pleasure to be able to
Yeah.
support you.
Yeah.
You know, I man, listen, I had people come up to me, man, listen, do the most craziest stuff, bro. Just out the blue, had my wife question like, baby, why they send this to you? I said, listen, I don't know.
I don't know, but let's take it.
No, man. You know what I'm saying? But I'm it's a blessing. It's a blessing, and I take it. I do not take it for granted. And I acknowledge God in these acts that people so graciously perform. I acknowledge that God is the reason that their heart is in a posture that it's in. And I want to believe that the motives are true, and what the reason why, they support and why they may, do what they do. But, I don't take it for granted. I don't take it for granted.
Man.
Everybody that follow me, everybody that rock with the music, everybody that gets inspired every time they hear something from Al Harris. I don't take that for granted at all. I believe this is what I was born to do.
So how do your followers, if they're not a current follower or a
Right.
fan, how do they find you?
Oh, they can find me.
No, I mean like your
ain't
social
hard to
media.
find. Yeah, for sure. I know. Al Harris, Facebook, it's Al Harris. Instagram, I am Al Harris. TikTok, Fit for a King, Al Harris Fit for a King. Website, IamAlHarris.com. YouTube, Al Harris Fit for a King. Yeah, man. I'm everywhere. I'm on platforms everywhere, man. And I really would love, man, for you guys to rock with me. A lot of you may not even know me, but I'm that dude, man. I'm that dude that's really gonna stand for something. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't talking about rap wise, man. I mean life in general, man. I'm gonna stand for something, man, because I fell for so much stupidity back in the day, man. So now, I'm gonna stand for something, man. I got children that I'm bringing up in this, and I want to be one of the reasons that they make good decisions. Not just my children, but your children too. I want to be one of the reasons that they make good decisions, that they think before they act. That they come up with respect for one another, that they come up with respect for their elders. I want to give them that, and if I could do it through the music, if God allows me to do it through the music, then I'll be so grateful for it, and I'll be a good steward of it. I'm passionate about it. I am. So get to know me. If you don't already, get to know Al Harris, man. You won't regret it.
My man, I was really hyped for this interview, and I'm really glad you
No
came
doubt,
through.
man.
I appreciate it.
I'm glad I'm here.
Absolutely,
I'm glad
man.
I'm here, man.
Yes, sir.
And I appreciate this opportunity, man.
For sure.
Yo, I wanna say something. Check this out.
Oh, do you think?
It's hard to attain a peace of mind. The storylines that I design within these rhymes can teach the blind. I just cultivate with time. They calling me coach. I'm on my prime. I'm explosive off the line. I hate to be broke. That's why I grind. And I'm too close to be behind. But deeper than most, let's take it down. As I wrote this, I just smiled. I mean to make the culture proud. There's too many artists that broke their vows. I never stop or throw the towel. A real topic if it's Al. He got the ball, no punts allowed. Him and JR just run their route. For the love of the art, I need that sound. something I could be transparent on. At times they left the ran alone for God to put his hands upon. Fiends we all ran up on to make sure every gram was gone. My mother, she was a fan of stones. For greed, I did the family wrong. I stand alone. They say it's good to mingle. I'm just playing along. I scan the room with thoughts that tend to linger. I don't ramble on. Each man is on. I'll never dumb it down to make a dancing song. Your plans are wrong. As long as I grab their hearts, I'll be landing home.
My dog!
Yeah, for sure. You know what I mean? Hey, listen, man. And that's what it's about.
Yes,
that's what it's about right there, man. If you don't know Al Harris, get to know Al Harris, man. That No Weapon Form out now on all outlets, on all platforms, and y'all rock with me. Y'all want that real back, then I give you that real, man.
Hey,
I mean, it's hip hop.
Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for watching. We out.